Hello guys, I'm your friend Inside Soul. I guess you already know that I have created an Charm or Firefox extension or aids which names No More Chinese. And of course, it's the first extension or aids I have ever made in the history. It works pretty good when you enter some Chinese website, then he will close that tab, that website you are visiting. But there's the question. What if you just want to visit some Chinese website? Then the only way to let you do that is remove or disable this extension. But it's not practicable. I guess the more suitable way for doing that is you click that extension, then you choose whether you want to enable this function or not. So this functionality is what we gonna do in this video. Let's get started. First, I have to clone this project to my local storage. Great, we already have that. Then I'm going to do some exploration to find out what's going on in this project, how things are work. Fine, as you can see here is the HTML codes popup.html. We are in that field. Then you can see here's a button. The text is no function yet. Then we go back to the Firefox. We click the aids. Then we can say here's a button. Also, lamps no function yet. And we click this. It shows it was made by InSalXO. And how that happens. Okay, here's the ID, my button. Then we go to the popup.js. And you can say when my button unclicked, then we do this. Charm.tables execute scrap code alert. It was made by InSalXO. Okay, it's fair enough. At least we know that if we click that button, we can listen that action, listen that event, then we can do some operations right here. Okay, great. Then what's the next step? Our purpose is to find a way to disable our aids or extension from our extension. For example, if I change this text no function yet to disable, then every time when I click that button, I want exactly stop that plugin or extension. As long as we know our purpose is, then I'm going to do some changes on the popup HTML file. Okay, after a long process working, I finally make it right. Here we can see the effect first. If I click the aids icon, then I can click the disable button. When I click it, after I clicked that button, it turns to enable. Then I click the enable button. it becomes disabled then. That's the functionality we achieved by the 4 lines codes. It's if my button.inner.html equal to disable, then we say my button.inner.html equal to enable. Otherwise, my button inner HTML equal to disable. And when I go to the popup.html, here you can say that the button inner HTML default to disable. That's how I made this. Great, that's a good start. Yes, as you can see, all the functions, all the operations we made when we enter a Chinese website is at the background.js field. So if we can find a way to, to have a global variable, which means a state, if we can have that global variable, we then can decide whether we want to close that table or close that Chinese website. So now the job for me is becoming how to make a global variable in Charm extension or in Firefox 8. Actually, there's no method for you guys to create a global variable in extension. But you can store your variable to storage, then you get it back when you need it. For me, I have tried churn.storage.sync.set or get, but unfortunately it doesn't work. So I decided to use storage.local.set, and boom, it worked. Let's have a general side about what I have done in the long time series. Okay, first let me click the extension, and you can see here's a button which names enable. After I click that, then let me do a refresh. Then you'll see that Chinese website just being killed by our extension. And when I click the icon of our extension again, you'll see a button which names disable. Now if we click that disable our extension, then we go back to a Chinese website again. And okay, now our extension was being disabled, so it won't kill that Chinese website anymore. let's have a look at our codes. First, let me go to the pop.js. First you had to get the variable from your local storage. So I just used this command. Then, if the result is undefined, which means we haven't stored any variable into our storage yet, so in that case, I would say charm.storage.local.set to set a default value. Here it's 1. It's number 1. Else, if we have had defined that state variable, then we say state equal to result.state. If the state equal to 1, then we say the inner HTML of our button to disable. Else, if the state equal to 0, we say that the button inner HTML codes equal to enable. Something like that. And then let's go to the do.js. It's the same thing as we have did in the pop-up.js. But in this time, I just wrapped all codes, those real actions, to a function which names takeAction. In this function, what he have done is to decide whether this website is a Chinese website or English website. If it's Chinese website, it takes some actions. And in here, it's to kill that tab. And after I define that takeAction function, I used the charm.storage.local.get function again to get the variable from our storage, from our local storage. And again, if the result is undefined, which means we haven't set any variable yet, so in this time I would like to set the default state equal to 1, which means open or enable our extension. Else, we get that state. If that state equal to 1, we take action. Else, if that state equal to 0, we don't do anything. So that's it. All codes I have written, I will push those codes into this project, which names No More Chinese, on my GitHub. If you have any interest in this field, feel free to give a star on my project. Thank you for your watching. Thank you for your watching my video, and I will see you in the next video.